Alright, so neovim treesitter is deprecated and you want syntax highlighting. You still want code in neovim. Well, there's a few ways to get around this. You can use tsforge, neovim, by Rabbits, and basically you can have TypeScript, Bash, CPP, JSON, stuff like this. You can have this working. Really simple. But what if you want to code in Rust? TS4 doesn't work with Rust. What if you want to code with Rust? What if you want to code with Svelte? Open a Svelte file, or in fact, cd, no, have syntax highlighting for this, and have sections and divs and renders. And what if you want these? You can't have them with just TSForge. Maybe some other plugin does it, but what if you want to do it manually? Well, that's what we're going to be doing. Treesitter and neovim treesitter is not the same thing. Treesitter is a parser for multiple places. VS Code uses it, Z uses it. So this is Z, that's Z. Z uses treesitter. I think everyone uses treesitter, but treesitter highlights your code. It does handles code folding, does a lot of things, and we want to do it manually. So let's do that. First things you need is, if you're in a new system, let's do podman, go into a Docker container. I've done this successfully and unsuccessfully, so I actually don't know why it didn't break. It broke. It didn't work the first time, but let's just podman, not pod, pacman tick sy. You need the following: rust up for cargo, because we're going to be using cargo to install the tree. If you want to an easier way, there's an npm package and you can just run this command and install nvim. But you'll need this for cargo. If you're on Windows, you actually need to install the build tools for Windows in order to use Rust. But there's also, if you do pacman treesitter, you can see treesitter, vim, query, markdown. There's a bunch of treesitter grammars you can just install out of the box. But here's the treesitter CLI. Tree CLI tool for developing, testing, and use. So that's what we're going to be doing. Get them ourselves, because as you saw there's no svelte, or I don't even think there was Rust there. So this is command we'll run. We'll install our whatever. Maybe you're on Mac, you'll be using. For me, I'll be using rust up and clang. You also need git, neovim, and go. Well, you don't need go. You need gcc and clang for rust, git for git cloning, and neovim because we'll install all of this. And I ran a podman container. I already have this on my base, which, yeah, I already have it, right? Last two is rust up default. We'll install cargo and rust up and stuff like that. Now that's done, we can just install cargo install, and you have to type this exact, and cargo will find the thing. It's very easy to install the CLI. It takes a couple of minutes. Okay, now that we've got treesitter, you're gonna have to export. So we'll do export path slash colon root, or wherever your home directory is, dot cargo. So that's going to be a path. Oh, whoops. So now that we've got this path, all we have to do, well, I'll come out of the Docker container because I know it works for my system. Well, I'll come out of the Docker container, show you here, do .config. So you're gonna need two things. So I go into the parser. You need a .rust, .so file. In Mac, I think it's .dca, but for Linux, it ends with .so. I've deleted it because I'm doing it, and we'll do queries. Go into queries, and you need a Rust. If we open the tree, you have Rust, and we've got highlights, SEM, and injections. You need this. And we'll go into learning Rust, and you'll notice I've got no syntax highlighting. My FN doesn't look proper and is white. Everything's white. We don't want it's this would be white too, but we've got syntax and our delimiters, rainbow delimiter plugin for new. So we'll go into our projects. This is where our thing is, and we'll delete treesitter rust, and we'll go in rust here, and we'll copy this, and we'll do git clone. It takes a little bit to clone, so, and we'll just enter it, treesitter rust, and look, we're missing a .so file. So this is what we're gonna do: treesitter generate, and actually you don't need it, but because we have this treesitter.json, so if we see that, just treesitter generate, and then now it's built, we can see at rust.so file, and that's what we need right there. So we'll move rust, the query. So this goes into parser, parser, and we'll move the queries but it's going to be in queries. So dot queries or and we'll take our queries file and move it there as well. So we what we've done is we moved it and we renamed it to Rust. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can just check real quick. Queries. If we go into queries, our Rust file, Rust query file is there with our highlights SCM. So this is an SCM file. I've got syntax highlighting by default. But this parser file, Rust parser file, if I cat this, it's a binary content. We don't want to do that. So you need both of those. And if we go into .config or cd projects, you can see this is colored now. The println macro. So if I do println hello, that's working. I've got println, I've got format macro. Everything is working properly. We'll use request because I have request installed here. Use the get https github.com mismatch found, and you need Tokyo. You need, but anyway, that's beyond the scope of it. We've done all of this now, and we can go into source and we'll use felt highlighting, and I've shown you Python. Do I have Python? Python main.py. We've got syntax highlighting for Python. So we've got all of that done, and that's how you do the manual version of the parser downloads. Now, if some of you are looking, oh wow, you have such a good config. I have this that gets you started. It gets you started. So here we are in my nvim directory. We can go nvim init.lua, and if we paste this in, everything is a fully functional IDE. Well, that's what. If you want more, you can add more, but basically, there's your map leader and there's Firefly. So if you're downloading this, if I restart, yes, it's black right now, but then it just lights up. And your LSP, it's because I've got my LSPs already installed. I can update these, but we've got Rust Analyzer, Go PLS, Firefly for Python, QMLS for Q or Quick Shell, just a bunch. And if I go into the same learning Rust, you can see it's still working. I just have prettier or virtual text, and my LSP still works. Everything works, and that's just because of the. And I can do Control X, Control O, use request, and and it will show up automatically with get function. Put that in there, bang. So my LSP is working, my syntax highlighting is working. This is all because I couldn't find something that does my treesitter parsers automatically. So if you like this video, and if you want config, I'll on that.